Let's go.
Hey everyone, and welcome back or welcome to my channel. Today's topic will be on the debut analysis of Jinny, Chuu, and Soojin, who were all group members turned soloists for different reasons. Kinda self-explanatory-ish, but I just kinda want to see the impacts that each debut had, considering all three departures caused some controversy in some sense. As a result, more eyes were on them, as well as more information would be released about them as soloists to be able to be analyzed. The plan is to look into everything that's led up to their debut, their actual debut, and my opinion on their potential future as soloists. But yeah, before I start, I would appreciate it if you can like and subscribe to my channel. Without further ado, let's start off with the first soloist. Starting off with the first to debut, Jinny's departure from the group was unexpected, as it was only 10 months into their debut when we would get the announcement. JYP Entertainment would cite personal matters as the reason with no proper clarification about what that means. However, that has not stopped fans, netizens, and everyone in between from making up rumors about the quote-unquote real reason for her departure. Regardless, this announcement came as a shock considering Jinny had also trained in JYP for over 6 years, as well as being in JYP, which relatively guarantees you success. So her departure was on the neutral side, as there was no real reason to attack her, but people were making up things to cause her departure to seem a bit uglier than what might be the realities. This kinda allowed for a slightly breezy return to the industry, which we wouldn't hear much about her until 3 months later, in which she would open up her personal Instagram. Then 1 month after that, she would sign with ATOC, and then debut in October 2023 with Come On featuring Amine. Her debut mini album did numbers with 79,000 Korean sales in her first week. Many reasons could be attributed to her success initially, including her being a stan attractor for NMIXX, to even the unresolved ending to her story in NMIXX. Considering NMIXX's mixed pop was very controversial and also considered a waste of the members' talents, they would have wanted to see what she did next. Her music direction definitely strayed from what she was known for during her pre-debut and even within NMIXX. The general reception looked pretty alright, and it doesn't seem like it was majorly criticized for being the complete wrong direction. But obviously, since it is a debut, it wasn't completely strong right off the bat. She still has time to experiment and try other things later on if her music direction in her debut era wasn't completely her vibe. She didn't get to promote her debut much on music shows too, which could be attributed to being in a smaller company. This hasn't stopped the debut from getting attention though. However, moving on, this will be a crucial factor for Jinny to further solidify and cement herself as a soloist. It was also interesting for her to choose the English version of Come On to promote as her debut song. Not sure how all that interconnects considering she never screamed having a larger Western fan base, but also I don't think that's what she would be doing first. There's not much else to say besides the fact that it really just comes down to the right promotions with the right songs, and she'll slowly begin to stan attract even more people. In terms of my personal opinion on her debut, Come On was kinda like Vampire by Lee Chaeyeon. Like, it was alright, but it just didn't showcase her talents to completely wow me like that. I mean, the teasers got me excited, and I thought the title track was gonna hit hard like that, but it was more kinda mellowy-ish. The feature was also kinda useless, considering Amine wasn't in the video and barely had any lines. But yeah, had to listen to the mini album, and I would say my top recommendations would probably be Bad Reputation or Here We Go Again. For Chuu, I kinda talked about her controversy in another video that you can watch, but basically Blockberry Creative expelled her from LOONA in November 2022, citing reports of abuse of power as the reason. Not the best reason to depart from the group, however, it was all exaggerated to vilify her and stop her from being able to move on beyond Blockberry Creative. Plus, the goodwill of her character was backed up by so many people within the industry that this controversy turned into more of a reason to show support to Chuu. Despite the constant news and the effects of controversies that would usually cause idols to go onto a hiatus, Chuu would actually continue on with her individual activities until she would officially get signed with ATRP in April 2023, and then make her debut in October 2023. The debut did pretty well with her album sales reaching 58,000 Korean sales within her first week. The music direction that she has taken has been relatively received received decently. On its own, it's been well received for being different and recognized as Chu potentially evolving as an artist. However, in comparison to the other post-Blockberry creative era music, it seems to be the least favorite for many orbits. Chu's vocals are really great too, so she'll also have time to explore as well and see the sounds that she might want to convey with her future releases too. The only slight iffy thing is that Blockberry Creative has yet to give up on the legal pursuits with all the LOONA members, despite Chu winning her lawsuit to nullify her contract and ease the restrictions on her activities in August 2023. This could explain why she wasn't able to promote much of her debut on music shows, with Lucembo also facing a similar situation. Overall, it seems like she'll stay booked and busy with solo activities considering her branding has not been impacted. I feel like she could potentially go towards that Sejong/Somi route in which Chu would release music here and there, but she'll probably get more well known for other things. In terms of my personal opinion on Chu's debut, I thought based on her LOONA solo of Heart Attack, she was going to go towards that Yena route of really bright and energetic, but nope. She explored a different side to her, which I saw as a fusion of Kim Lip's Eclipse and Yua's Bon Voyage, which kind of makes sense since her CEO of her company was the creative director of WM, who also worked on Yua's Bon Voyage. Overall, this album was kind of not my vibe, but I will still continue to see what she does and support her through her YouTube channel of Chu Can Do It. As for my recommendations though, the only other song I would say I vibed with would be My Palace. Finally, we have the most recent group member turned soloist of Soojin. She withdrew from G-Idol in August 2021 due to the bullying controversy, and then would leave Cube in March 2022. One of the more bigger controversies between the three soloists, I already did a video on her controversy, and the ending basically was that no real evidence would be able to confirm that Soojin was or was not a bully, due to it all being hearsay, which left a sour taste for Soojin's image. The number of domestic fans are a bit lower due to the uncomfortability of showing support to a potential bully in their eyes, considering the serious nature of bullying in South Korea. Kinda makes me want to know more about where the disconnect is coming from, as there is no consensus reception of Soojin despite all the information out there. But yeah, back to her solo career, Soojin would stay quiet until June 2023, in which she would open up her personal Instagram. This would then be followed up by her signing with BRD Entertainment in October, and then debuting a month after with Agashi. This debut mini album has performed pretty well, racking up 73,000 Korean sales within her first week, and it shows that there is a pretty decent debut hype for her. In terms of promoting herself though, it seems like there aren't any restrictions placed on her. However, it is something that she'll have to navigate well into the unforeseeable future, considering the bullying allegations are still relatively fresh and a major association to her due to the unresolved outcome. As a result, this might explain why her debut promotions got kinda cut short or restricted. This will kinda be her main issue moving forward, as she'll definitely get a lot of engagement from both fans and critics. However, this does not translate to success. There's so much politics to navigating K-pop, and so she'll kinda need to put in work to change the minds of enough domestic audiences who don't know how to support her without potentially feeling like they're supporting a bully. I mean, that also kind of explains why not many idols have openly filmed challenges with her. In terms of my opinion on her debut, it was a pretty interesting start, with the song being alright for me. The vibes were giving Yuju's Play in aesthetic and slightly in sound too, but the sound was leaning more towards like a Jisoo flower. However, it's grown enough on me to appreciate it and rank Agashi as the best title track out of the three debuts, but it's not something that I would actively look up. As well as that, Agashi is probably the only song that I would like from her debut album, so to me, at least they ended up with the right title track. Final thoughts. All three had controversial departures from their groups, and so that kind of explains the initial boost in debut hype that they received, as all eyes were on them. This could slightly explain why all their solos did pretty decent despite no crazy going all out type of promotions. However, like I said before, this will be a factor of consideration moving forward, as we just have to see whether they can sustain their impact and popularity, which being a soloist in itself is already hard. In terms of current times of November 2023, former Treasure member Bang Ye-dam is the next idol from a pretty big group that has pivoted to being a soloist. Also another pretty controversial exit considering how popular and well known he got from within YG. But yeah, by the time this has been uploaded, his official debut will only be a week in, and so can't really say how he might be doing, but another interesting solo that I'll be following. But yeah, that's it for the video. Thanks for watching, and let me know your thoughts on the debut of Jinny, Choo, Soojin, and your thoughts on what their future might look like. One thing that I noticed about them was the fact that all of them have played a relatively significant role within their groups, but they'll need a bit more than that now to succeed. This kind of ties into my next video topic, which will be on Kim Sejong's comment in the recent Universe ticket where she talked about what was important for idols in a girl group. I kind of feel like what she said was a bit basic and made kind of sense, but the reception of her comments have been interesting, and so I thought I would just unpack what they actually mean to me. But yeah, if you're interested in that, then please like and subscribe to keep up to date, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!